you're ready to scale, you want to grow further, you've tried many different things, and you're kind of noticing that, the thing that I've been doing that maybe worked and got me here doesn't seem to keep working to get me further. And yet, my mission is big. I'm meant to impact this world. I'm meant to create change. I know that I'm here as a transformative conscious leader, and it is my inner desire to move on to the next level of impact. And somehow you're bumping into this, but why is it not working the way that I think it should be? So if you're at that place, let me tell you what is going on from the perspective of someone who understands how energetics work. What I do is wealth energetics and soul design. So for the ones of you who don't know me, I'm Eugenia Oganova, and I am a business strategist and conscious clairvoyant marketing coach. So what I do is literally help you save years of pressure and forcing yourself into stuff that doesn't work, and instead create from the place that is natural. So what we're talking about today is that you're already at the level of the business when things are good. And now you want to go further, but you're finding that friction, that difficulty. Partially it's because, there's I got to risk again. I just got to this place where it's sort of comfortable and now I got to get uncomfortable again. So that's already a little bit of a friction, usually at that place. Another point of friction is that there are systems out there in the world that have been taught in the space of coaching, in marketing and business, that a lot of times women, especially coaches who are at that six figures, start to look into those systems as, okay, now I have to implement one of those, which means I need to hire a marketing agency, which means I need to hire somebody who's going to do my ads, or whatever it is that you decided you think you need to do. What I would always suggest is, before you do that, do you know what is your natural way, how your soul, how, higher components of you, God, universe, programmed you to actually, bring your mission into third dimension, into material plane? If you don't, that would be the area of research before embarking on any business strategy. Because what I have found is that the business strategy must be aligned perfectly to who you are. This is where soul design profit potential comes into play. Every person has a potential within them for profit. By what I mean by that is to be able to bring in, to attract to them, to generate abundance in a specific way. In other words, there are some people on the soul level, before you even incarnated into this, body, already contracted to be your clients, or to be your promoters, or to be an opportunity for you to connect you to someone else. There are already people like that. And our job is to be in the correct frequency and do correct actions in material plane here in order to attract these people into our world, so that we have the ease and flow. I always find it funny when people speak of this ease and flow, like, how do I find ease? How do I find flow? As if this is something that exists outside of them and they have to catch it like a wave. Actually, we create it by being authentically who we are in the correct frequency. So when you are living in alignment with your natural soul design, and when you fully understand what is your profit potential that is encoded into your soul design, you can start to capitalize on it. You can start to utilize that correctly. That changes where the emphasis is in your marketing. It changes a little bit how you are positioning yourself in the marketplace. It might change how you show up and how you speak. It does not mean you suddenly do something different. But usually what happens is, when I work with my clients and we figure out their profit potential in their soul design, is there is a relief. There is this feeling of, oh my goodness, I've always known that this works, or this always felt amazing when I did that, but I just couldn't imagine how I can make that the main thing of my business, because don't I need to do A, B, C, and D because I was taught that I supposed to do those. And actually, of course, there's always some strategy that we have to fit our profit potential into. But the key is to begin with your soul design, not with the business strategy. So I know I'm kind of an odd business strategist because I don't teach business strategy. I help you be more you. And through doing that, we then figure out a business strategy that is uniquely yours. And of course, there are plenty of ways to pick from, but we reassemble it to match you. So this way, like for example, if somebody is naturally meant to deliver what they're saying through channeling information, not by, let's say, writing a speech and then reading the transcript or something like that. Well, channeling information is a very different type of marketing. And in a traditional marketing, that does not work, because if you try to insert information channeling into traditional marketing, it's just going to not work financially. It's not going to attract clients. So there are ways to bring in kind of a flow of information that feels like a free flow into a marketing strategy. Integrate those two in a way that then actually compels people to respond and come to you. Same thing if you already have a program and it's an awesome program and you like it, and you're noticing that, okay, I need to go to the next level. Do I need to modify my program, or am I going from one-on-one into working with groups? What does that look like? Do I now offer them less? Do I need to hire tons of support in order to make sure that they still get the same level of support that they were getting from me one-on-one, and so on? All those things are actually in your soul design. You literally have a profit potential points in there pre-coded. So if you understand your energetics, you know what is the wealth inflow. Like, how can you shift from, let's say, working with one-on-one into working with a group? And what is the proper system here? Sometimes, yes, it's hiring support coaches or something like that. Sometimes it's automations and procedures. Sometimes it's getting a different type of a support team. Sometimes it's none of those things at all, and it's actually modifying whatever you're delivering, changing your delivery. There are so many things, and it's not random. It's not just in your head. It's not something that, okay, I'm thinking I should do that, so let me try that logically and reasonably seems like the correct strategy. That is an over rigid way of trying to live your life, because you are a unique being. You're a one-time cosmic event. You came here with a specific something that is unique, but within that uniqueness, there's also specific encodements as to how that uniqueness needs to be brought out into the world. So you already have answers to all these questions within your soul design. So it's not about, let's say, having somebody like tell you what to do. It's about working with you to help you open up these pieces that we can see kind of like an energy map within you. And that allows you to make steps that feel right, that feel harmonious. So instead of doing something because you think you should, you're doing it because it is a natural flow of expansion and personal evolution. So here I want to make a little side note is that evolution does not always feel good, but it feels right. So there is a distinction in there, because sometimes people think like, oh, that means I never do anything that's challenging, never do anything that feels a little scary. It just always has to feel good. And that's kind of not true, because in the business, there's self-discipline required, there's self-responsibility. You got to be sovereign. You got to be cleaning up some of the patterns that are not you and shedding them. So there's a lot of personal transformation that occurs as you're growing in your business. So why would it be different in what you're offering? Of course not. Which means all of these components have to be aligned to who you are, but by doing so, you could be challenging yourself a little bit. So you might be doing some things that are a little bit out of your comfort zone, but in a way that still feels right, even if it not always feel good. And that's actually one of the things I teach my clients, is to recognize that internal thing when it's like, okay, where is the energy flow happening when it actually feels right, and I can create that thing, and when it doesn't, so I'm not supposed to. So recognizing your own timing and shedding this idea that your business should be something, that there are certain rules that you have to follow. You are the rule. You create the rules. It's all already encoded in your soul design. So now it's decoding what you have put in your soul contract when you came here, and then how to turn that into a profit potential. So, for example, one of my clients was creating a specific program in a way that she was taught, so that there was 2 support coaches, and there were certain structures with the agency that she was working behind the scenes. She was exhausted. She was managing the whole thing, and even though she supposedly was showing up less in that program, she actually energetically was spending more energy on maintaining the program. So her literal time investment might have been less, but her energy investment was higher. So what we were doing is looking at her soul design, looking at where are the pieces that are draining for her energetically. She was like, well, but I'm not doing this, so why should it be draining? So then we started looking at it, and it's like, wow, okay, it's really draining. I'm thinking about this a lot. I'm even dreaming about this. All of that is actually part of your world, even your dreaming. So what we did is we readjusted that to the place where she can put her energy in the right location. And then it actually came up that she did not need 2 coaches. She only needed 1 support coach. She didn't need the agency to do all the things that she thought she needed. And instead, she only needed this one specific thing, and that she can let go of. And as soon as she let go of control on that, she then could fully invest her energy into scaling that one piece where she was putting her conscious effort in and linear time when she was present with her clients. That generated extra 120,000 for her in her business just by that adjustment, because she freed her energy. Okay, so another example, a client of mine who was at the place of like, okay, should I go more higher and sort of doing more like higher one-on-one type of a program, or should I scale by creating even lower end group program? And she was trying to figure out which way is the best, and having a coach that told her that she's supposed to create automations and do this lower end because that's what happens when you already have a higher end program. And traditionally that probably is so, but we are all unique. So she was starting to feel very drained, very stressed, and not happy in her business. And she said, I'm waking up in the morning kind of dreading my business, which I love, and yet here I am not liking it. So she was noticing that discrepancy. Now her business is at multiple 6 figures. So what we were adjusting is not necessarily, oh, let's do this versus that, but let's figure out how to fit that into what you already came in with. So when we looked at her soul design profit potential, we noticed that she's here to bring this specific visionary component that deals with people's individuality and sovereignty. So then we adjusted the focal point of her program. Not the actual program, but the focal point of the program. We added a higher end component to the same program instead of creating a whole other arm of her business. And we also created a lower end component, so sort of like 2 wings to the same thing. And by the fact of doing that, her energy could go exactly where she wanted, feel really good, not complicated, actually simplified it, and I think it doubled her business actually, almost doubled from the numbers, because she was able to not even have to go and do a launch or something new. She essentially just started weaving these components into her already existent marketing that already was kind of working. She was attracting clients and everything, but she adjusted where the energetic emphasis is. That activated her energy wealth container in a very different way. She became magnetic. People started to ask, what is it you're doing? Wow, I just really love to work with you. I think you're my coach. And that then created an inflow of business. So she created a system for herself that is unique to her by what we were doing together. Or another client of mine, similar situation, she had lower end business with many clients that were paying hourly. And she was trying to figure out if she should create a course or something like that. She took a class that told her how to make a course, and she was kind of in the process of starting to lay that course out. And then she got very disinterested, and she was thinking that she needs more like internal motivation support. You know, how do I get motivated to finish my course? So when we looked at her soul design, it quickly became apparent that her profit potential is not at all in creating this kind of a thing that she was trying to create. That's why she was not motivated. She was pushing her energy with her willpower into something that she mentally decided was right, but her body and her energetics was telling her, nope, that's not the right way. That discrepancy created friction. That friction created her emotional response of dread. So then we decoded that into, okay, what are you actually meant to do? Where is your energy naturally flowing? We looked at her profit potential, and some of those components were actually so unique, so specialized that they almost called for a higher end program, which would be much more specialized. Great, we created one, and we created one within 1 week. So if you ever thought that like, oh my God, to create a program and write a marketing for it and all this thing, this takes like, I don't know, months and months. No, not if it's aligned and not if you kind of know who you are and what you're bringing. And now you got like, oh, this dot connects to this dot connects to that dot. So I'm the queen of connecting the unconnectable dots here. We put that together. She was able to create her program. She was able to then start talking about it and already got some clients for that. And that program is $10,000 versus I think $120 she was charging per hour. So instead of going into more lower end, she created a higher end component to her business. My point here is that none of those things work from your head. They don't work by you thinking about it and then saying, okay, this is what I should do because, well, hey, everybody's doing higher end. Yeah, but higher end doesn't work for everybody. Or everybody's doing group programs, so I should too. That also doesn't work for everybody, depending on your energetics. Also, some people start worrying about, but what about like if my clients don't get supported? What if they don't get the same results and so on, which happens every time we shift something, especially if we have been successful with clients before. So you're kind of shifting your whole business to more alignment with yourself without triggering all these out of integrity pieces by being in integrity of you. Okay, integrity is not some rules and regulations out there about like these are the right ways to be. Integrity is actually much more about who are you within your soul design, within how you're built in this lifetime. Because we are unique, and that uniqueness itself has the value. That uniqueness itself is what you're meant to bring. So understanding which parts of your unique sovereignty are for you, which parts are for the universe, which parts are for specific people, and where do you need to start putting your emphasis when you're showing up? What should be the focal point? Because we all multidimensional here. We all do so many things. And if you are already at 6 figures or close to it, that means you're pretty intense and incredible, brilliant person. You're already above majority of people in what you can do or what you have done. You already have proven to yourself what is possible by you showing up authentically. Now it's 1 degree, 2 degree shifts, teeny little adjustments that help you fine-tune what you've been doing even more to free your energy so that the wealth energetics actually work for you. So if you're at the place where you're recognizing that, okay, I've been wanting to do something, whatever the next step is, I'm not quite sure what the next step is, I have what I have that's working, I love doing the work I'm doing, I want to do more of it, but in a way that's even more fine-tuned. Or maybe you've been craving to create a slightly different direction in your business and you're kind of like not sure if this is the way to go, because then you're going to have to, hire support team or hire somebody to do something for it. And I'm here to tell you that unless you know what is energetically encoded within you, all those things are sort of guessing. And there's nothing wrong with trial and error, and we've all done it when we started our businesses, right? But really, do you want to do it now at this place versus, let's say, when you just started? When you started, you were excited because you had to make it happen, so you went and you made it happen. That's where we test a lot of things. When you're at the higher levels of your business, you don't want to blindly test because now you have much bigger machine that you're sort of shifting with every change. And energetically, you're holding more. And that's the part that I think a lot of times business owners forget, is that our business is something that we energetically are linked with. So you're actually holding that within your charge. So if you are creating energetically at the level where you barely have any business, there's very little to hold. But when you're starting to readjust things at 6 figures, at multiple 6 figures, that's a big difference. This is where you have much more energetical weight connected to you, and that weight could be incredibly grounding and actually an anchor point for the wealth container, or it could be draining if it's incorrectly anchored. So this is part of what I do with the soul design is we figure out your unique profit potential. We figure out where the emphasis point should be in what you're doing. We figure out what is the natural way for you to show up and present yourself to the world, and where your natural expansion is already pre-coded in your soul design. So that way, instead of blindly trying different strategies that somebody told you about, you are utilizing still an experiment, because we all are experiment in a sense, because we're now learning to dance with the universe and with our own energy. But at least you're doing the correct dance for yourself. And that is unique. So then your business will show up looking very unique. It will show up looking like something that you are, something that is specifically you, and nobody else has that specific way of energy brilliance that you are bringing. Why would your strategy have to be general, right? It wouldn't be. It would be uniquely coded to your soul design profit potential. So if you are in your business at that point where you're recognizing that, okay, I know I want to expand and make that next step, but I don't want to be guessing or just hiring some strategy. I want to find the way that feels natural to me and feels right, and at the same time expands me and supports me and everything, I would love to help you. This is literally what I do with my clients for like over 20 years. So we will look at your business situation. We would look at what specifically needs to be perhaps adjusted or where the emphasis needs to go. And I can help you do that for your business so that you actually can have a business that feels right and is able to scale with ease and have the momentum that is natural, not based on your willpower pressing and forcing something into existence because of the mental decision, but based on your soul design profit potential and your natural inflow of energy and natural desire for expansion at your rhythm, at your speed, in the right timing, in the right energy, and in the right alignment within you and your environment, so that whatever you're attracting to you is of the type of energies that support you and feed you instead of drain you. So I would love to talk with you. The link is in description. Let's connect and see how we can help your business scale with soul design profit potential.